Imagine two brothers whose success becomes so immense that their hometown can no longer physically hold them. That is the situation an ancient patriarch named Esau found himself in. Esau and his brother Jacob lived together in the land of Canaan. Over time, both brothers accumulated enormous wealth, building up massive herds of livestock and vast storehouses of goods. Eventually, the brothers hit a breaking point. The local pastures were grazed bare, and there simply wasn't enough grass or water to keep both of their growing herds alive in the same place. To keep his flocks alive and his family fed, Esau made a historic decision. He packed up his entire estate and left his homeland behind to find a completely new frontier. They moved out as a massive, crawling city. Esau traveled with his wives, his children, hundreds of household servants, and thousands of animals, hauling all the wealth they had acquired in Canaan. They left the grassy plains and aimed for the hill country of Seir. Look at this landscape. They were trading open fields for a harsh, jagged expanse of rock and canyon. Navigating these steep ravines and dry riverbeds required intense physical endurance. You had to be exceptionally tough to settle and survive in this terrain. Esau also went by the name Edom, which translates to red. He chose a territory of rust-colored stone that perfectly mirrored his own identity. By surviving this grueling march into the mountains, Esau's family laid the physical foundation for a future empire. Once settled, Esau's household began to grow. His 3 wives, Adah, Besimoth, and Oholibamah, gave birth to the first generation of sons in this new territory. Watch how the sons evolved into leaders. Names like Eliphaz and Roel transform into territorial boundaries as they became chiefs over specific regions. The next generation, including grandsons like Amalek, then gathered followers and expanded these borders further across the mountain range. These genealogies document the political evolution of the region, showing how a single-family tree grew into a network of independent regional powers. Esau's descendants were not stepping into an empty void. A native group of leaders, known as the Horites, already occupied the Seir region. Rather than existing in total isolation, the newly arrived Edomites interacted with these local chiefs, integrating into the existing landscape and forging alliances. We even get a glimpse into their daily lives. The records highlight a young Horite man named Anna who was out grazing his father's donkeys when he noticed something steaming in the dirt. He had stumbled upon a natural hot spring. In a sun-baked desert, finding hot water bubbling straight from the ground was a discovery so valuable it was worth recording for the next 3,000 years. The inclusion of this moment anchors the historical record in the gritty, day-to-day reality of life on a rugged frontier. Edom reached a political milestone that would take their neighbors much longer to achieve. They established a functioning monarchy generations before Israel crowned its first king. This map tracks the early Edomite kings. Watch the crown icon. It jumps from Dinhabah to Basra to Aviv. Power did not pass quietly down a single-family line. It shifted dynamically between different fortified cities. These kings wielded real power. King Hadad successfully marched out and defeated Midian in open combat. Under these monarchs, the landscape transitioned from scattered nomadic tents into a highly organized network of stone cities. Within a few generations, a displaced family of herders had built a formidable, militarized nation-state. The final historical records list the chiefs of Edom according to the specific regions they settled. Look closely at the carved trails in these layered rocks. The names of those early leaders became the permanent names of the valleys they occupied. It started with a practical problem: 2 brothers with too much livestock. That simple search for breathing room set a sweeping migration in motion. The records in Genesis 36 map that expansion, preserving the names and places that built the Red Empire of Edom.